Banff National Park was the first national park in Canada. It has over 6,000 kilometers of protected wilderness areas. And at 4,537 feet, the town of Banff is the highest town in Canada. Now, Banff National Park is quite unique in that it's home to 7 National Historic Heritage Sites. The Cavan Basin came to fame in the fall of 1883. Railway workers went prospecting, and instead of finding gold and silver, they found naturally heated warm water.
A 10 square mile, 26 square kilometer reserve was set up around the thermal springs on Sulphur Mountain. That was the humble beginnings of what we now know as Banff National Park and this whole system of Parks Canada across the country.
The Cavan Basin waters were a huge attraction for visitors to enjoy. Then there's the oldest natural history museum in Western Canada, with over 5,000 specimens in this collection.
This gem was built in 1903 to house the spectacular collection and safely show visitors the wilds of Banff National Park, something that it still does today. It was called the University of the Hills back then, and I would suggest that it still achieves that aim today. It's showing people the flora and fauna and history of this beautiful place.
And speaking of beautiful places, there's Skokie Lodge, that was built in 1931 by Sir Norman Watson.
He was a little bit of a character, an English aristocrat, and he had a vision of having all this kind of Swiss village with cattle grazing in the mountains, all that, and also the Banff Alpine Ski Club, and they formed Skokie. So while the vision of the dairy cattle and all that happening in Banff National Park didn't happen, this dream of having the perfect place to have people go skiing from, Skokie Lodge, became a reality. In the winter, it's a skier's dream, and in the summer, you can enjoy hiking and connecting with nature and wildlife. And if you go all the way up Sulphur Mountain, that's where the home of the Cosmic Ray Station could be seen.
The data collected from this particular ray station was significant and contributed enough that the University of Calgary took over the ray station after and operated it up until the 1970s.
Up behind me is where the Sulphur Mountain Cosmic Station used to be, and although it's been dismantled, you can still take the trip up and learn about how crucial this was to Banff's heritage. Not to mention the views from up here are spectacular, and so are the sights up and down the gondola. Further north, you can find Howe's Pass. It was used by First Nations and traders like the famous Dave Thompson. There's also Abbott Hut, that was built as a refuge cabin for travelers across the Alpines and is still used today by the Alpine Club of Canada. Now, many people will be familiar with this historic landmark, the Fairmont Banff Springs Hotel. It was the brains of William Cornelius Van Horn that made this hotel a reality in 1888. But the hotel did go through its ups and downs over the years.
It wasn't until 1969, December 5th, in this room at 7 o'clock, our manager Cliff Watson hopefully threw away our ceremonial keys to our front door forever because we had become year-round due to the ease of travel and the popularity of skiing. Through our castle doors have passed kings, queens, prime ministers, presidents, and even mother-in-laws. You know, we've had all our prime ministers, 22 of them, have either visited or stayed at this grand hotel. Mikhail Gorbachev, Indira Gandhi, Margaret Thatcher, King Hussein of Jordan, the Prime Minister of Israel, the Crown Prince of Japan, the Premier of China.
Not to mention the likes of Bobby Kennedy, Eisenhower, and Roosevelt. Wayne Gretzky, Russell Crowe, Clint Eastwood, and Alec Baldwin all stayed here. The list goes on and on. There's no doubt that Banff National Park is full of beautiful sights, and it's also rich with history and heritage. Each of the 7 National Heritage Sites has their own story to tell and can make for an unforgettable experience. In Banff, for Shaw TV, I'm Lisa Wolansky.